Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Caveman to Cosmos with me, Vampire Omega and Byzantium. So the turn is 6,894, we're inching closer to 7,000, year 1613, and we're one turn away from steel. What's new? Well, as you can see, we are in a net positive even with a full investment in science, and that's what we have been seeing more and more. I've seen strings of turns where I'm, in a complete net positive, and I actually think that the finances that we have might be actually increasing. So it's going to be interesting to see. At this point, we have 109,000 1,097,787, and we're going to see within these updates how it changes. I swear to not take any deals from the AI so that we can monitor it and actually see if we are in a good enough position. Tied to that is the fact that we can think about our next city, and try as I might, I cannot actually figure out a good place to settle in this area. So I decided that our next city is going to be located here. Actually, I think here, to be precise, because you are reaching all the way to here, and then it goes like this, and you're reaching all the way to here. So yeah, this is the place. It's, in my opinion, far enough from the volcano to actually be alright. Actually, it could be also here. I'll figure out the exact position, but it's going to be in this area. There can be 2 cities in here, maybe even 3, but the volcano is really not doing any good for us. So I'm going to settle as far north as possible from it for now, and we'll see if we can keep it alive. Another logical place would be probably here, just to tie in to the coastal cities. And then, of course, we could try to push the border, but I think we're gonna get the most benefit from this area, even if there isn't that many tile bonuses here. It's completely developed. There are, it is completely developed, so whoever settles here is gonna have an easy start. We have enough civilian captives here to send them over immediately. I guess that would be a good idea to go with. I've been also, again, I mentioned that every single time I update you guys, but I've been micromanaging. What are you doing? Research, really? I've been micromanaging all of these cities. They're working on things that will give them as much benefit as possible. I'm hoping to see further growth. You can see that they are all on their way to... no, actually, no. There's a couple of them at level 16 still. How many? Yeah, it's about half. So 4 cities are still at level 16, some are at level 17. Again, with the slew of buildings that we actually have available to us, it's not that easy to find time to build supply trains and food trains, so I have to be really, I'm basically cutting them off for now and trying to work more on building up our bigger cities and making them more profitable. But it's going to change eventually again, and we're going to start supplying them. As you can see, they're already dabbing into really beneficial buildings like the mathematics department and factories, because I want them to boost their production even more, and we've been doing a good job at that. We have also been at peace. I've done my best to get the map that could reveal where the last is the good way to put it. The last Milanese city was, but I still cannot figure it out. I don't know, man. I don't know. He wouldn't give us the world map. I'm not gonna give him mine, and he hates me, so there's no way that we can make this work. He's gonna declare war eventually again. That's for certain. So I guess it's just what it is. We've also gained access to a couple of new world units. I'm building them, and I'm going to put them on Border Patrol, because we have pulled a lot of units away. And I also want to build the recruitment center in Constantinople soon. But we still got a couple of things that we want to build here. I'll be looking at our crime rate in the cities as we finish up these panopticon prisons, because if it goes too high, actually not too high, too low, it is a sign for me. Oh yeah, like now, Ragusa. Let's look at you. This is a sign for me that we can actually get rid of some of these units, because we just don't need a city which has... I mean, I could probably get rid of all of them, but I want to keep them for roleplay reasons, at least some of them. In many cities, I have already eliminated many of these units, so I keep monitoring and seeing whether or not it's doing good. But yeah, it looks like each one of these is adding about a 500 suppression of crime, so you can reasonably get rid of many of them. But with the upgrades, again, they're becoming more and more efficient. I remember a time when we really struggled with crime. Well, I mean, I don't remember. I feel like there was a time where we really struggled with that, but it's a long time gone, man. That's ancient history. Get the home again. But it's, you know, you have to keep in mind that each one of these is actually 12 upkeep. So as we keep eliminating them, it also plays a vast role in the budget. The upkeep for our units is actually pretty high. So getting rid of some of them. Actually, look at you guys. Somehow I missed you guys. Alright, so I can get rid of you and I can upgrade you. That's also a pretty good thing to do. Anyone else? Oh, Vodena also seems like a good one. Yeah, you also have a lot of them. One thing that I'm actually a little bit saddened by, I was thinking that we might eventually get, as we're gonna get the, what are they called? The park rangers or the environmentalists. I was hoping that we would eventually get a firefighting unit, something like a fireman or fire engine. Oh, hello, you too, huh? I was not aware that you were here. Alright, well, let's get rid of you. So, as I was saying, I was hoping that that would happen, but when I looked at technology, the next upgrade is coming from motorized transportation, I believe. Yeah, here it is, the fire station, but it never allows us to train any units, and I actually went and I checked, and there just isn't anything. And I actually kind of feel like, you know, minus 25 really isn't that much. There will be other things that we will get eventually, but I don't know, it feels like the fire is gonna be really something that we're gonna keep struggling with. Because the risk, I keep getting, you know, issues in some of my cities, especially now that we started building the hydrogen factories. And the risk of fire is actually really high. I think we have it here. Yeah, and it gets to about 319 at this point. And I think it's going to keep just increasing. Most of cities are now above 200, so yeah. Well, I mean, fires happen, but I was hoping that there would be some way to offset that. Also, before we end the turn and go with steel, I wanted to look at our technologies again. Because I would really like to get refining soon, as that one is needed to build hydrocarbon well, which we can use to get natural gas and oil as well. So that's something that we should get soon. And there was also a couple of other things that spoke to me, but... Is there anything here? Oh yeah, the civil engineering. That one is also an extremely important one because it gives 6 production to engineering school and 6 to university. And quarries and suburbs now also get bonuses. So this means basically 12 extra in each of our cities. And you know, you time it by 6, you get about 700 production. So that is not something that we can ignore. Plus, there is a lot of buildings that are coming from this one. And new housing types, which is also amazing because those are going to boost our production quite dramatically. So I was thinking, are we going for the good things or are we not? But I think we might actually be... Yeah, because the firefighting is not gonna be good enough until we get the motorized. But the modern sanitation and things, oh man, we need those. So okay, if we went for hydroelectricity, that's not gonna change, that's what we need. Then we could go for civil engineering. No, we would still need firefighting and modern sanitation. Alright, so let's go again. Hydroelectricity. Then we could get the refining, because that is a quick one. We have everything we need for that one, and that gives us buildings like all refinery. 20% bonus to production with power is amazing. All derrick mines, shell plants. These are really good. But again, hydrocarbon wells are the ones that I want the most. Because you guys rightfully pointed that the lighting that we get from the gas lighting is not exactly amazing. And it requires natural gas or hydrogen. And the reason why I'm producing hydrogen is because I believe that it will be necessary for other things. Not only for lighting down the line. But I might be mistaken. Still, you know, it seems like it wouldn't be a one-trick pony. There's the incandescent lighting coming soon, which will replace... does it? Yes, it replaces torches, gas lamps, or oil lamps. And that one pretty much eliminates the risk of fire completely. So that's something that would be a good thing for us. But still, I want the access to the gas. So we're gonna go like this. Then I want the wildlife conservation, because that's something that we need to build up as fast as possible, because the park rangers and everything are quite important. So those are the quick ones. Food preservation. Cannery. Yeah, that's definitely another one that we need to get. That's also a quick one. So alright, so we have the basics. Hydroelectricity, that's what we are going for in this episode. In the next one we're going to get a couple of really good technologies. Refining, wildlife conservation, and food preservation. And then we can go for agricultural engineering. Alright, that one is actually really easy. Then the civil engineering, which will require modern sanitation and firefighting anyway. Then for refrigeration, and then for antibiotics. Okay, that actually is a pretty good set. I think I'm missing anything really big. Journalism... Oh, the press agency would be great. But we just can't get everything. Telegraph, Marxism, polymerization, chemical plant. Gives nothing, just fire risk. And pollution. That's interesting. Chemical district. That one is actually good, but that was really weird. Labor unions, weapons, we don't really need that. Combustion. That's also a good one, but I think right now we're set. I mean, you can look at these and every technology is going to be great, like motorized transport, motion pictures, criminology and other, but yeah, let's stick with this one. Alright, I think that's actually pretty good, so let's end the turn and hear it for steel. Alright, Korea is offering us a world map, I'll take it. Anything else? Not really.
Before that steam drill shall beat me down, I'll die with my hammer in my hand.
Alright. I always like these original readouts or original voiceover from the game, because it makes me realize how stretched everything became here, and we're basically doing these milestones. So remember, like we've played for almost 7,000 turns and we're getting steel now. Amazing. So anyway, it enables a lot of world units. It gives us access to steel watchtower, which is not something that we really want, but some of our watchtowers are going to be upgraded automatically. Well, actually they won't, because we're not working them. Oh, still. Dry dock, not bad. Heals naval units. Small steel arch bridge. Extra trade round, gives a little bit of gold, and a boost to gold generation. And Vietnamese culture. Really? And steel watchtower. Okay, so that's some minor technology, really. I'm not gonna say that it's a big one. Let me just see. So the actual... Oh, okay. The actual is that it actually lowers our income. Replaces... I think we got the truss bridge here. Well, that's interesting. It still has a maintenance cost. Well, okay, but it... Yeah, okay. It gives us a little bit of science, but not much. Anything else coming? No? Really? Nothing coming out of that? Well, alright. I mean, you know, we still have things to build, so it's not like I'm mad. We really can use a little bit of downtime. Usually it's the other way around, but this time we really have too many things to build. So I would really like to start seeing my cities go back to research, you know. And yeah, look at that income. 2,550. So yeah, the next city might even come in this episode because we are really doing good for the money. Anyway, Basil II. So you get a bunch of these specialized adventure hero. Double movement in desert, ice, jungle, and forest. Bandit hero. Bard hero. Bodyguard. Lieutenant hero. Loyal servant hero. 1 movement range, an extra withdrawal chance. Alright, I'll take that. Can heal while moving, it's also a good one. I'm gonna give you this one. That makes your strength 17. You already got flanking one, really. You get a movement range bonus. Alright. Oh, let's give you this. And this. That should lead to quality. It doesn't. Alright, what's this one? Alright, plus 20% strength, I'll take it. Another one of these. Alright, well, not bad. Plus quite a lot of bonuses we piled up. Is there a priest, messenger, and a loyal servant? Might 3. I mean, I could immediately join you into the city as a great prophet, great artist, great scientist. But it helps entertainers, traders, workers, military. Nah, we really need you guys to be patrolling, because I don't have enough units patrolling. So in case I missed something, it would be an issue. You guys, what can you build here? Nothing. That would destroy the pasture. I don't want you to do that. What's here? An orchard. Watermill. Steel watchtower. Nope. Nope. Oh, we're getting a hunting preserve here. So let's get that one. That's actually a pretty good one. We don't need a town. You guys can build up crime fighting. Same with you. You can continue building the railroad. Yeah, let's get the cows. Let's get the cows. Can continue developing this area safely. You can continue here, and I'd actually like to double check that we have everything around here developed. There's no place, nothing. You guys have finished. Ah, you had to finish just right now, or last turn, because I was checking you a couple of moments ago. Alright, so that allows me to build another great farmer. Where are you? Over here. Alright, actually we don't need Constantinople to do that. I can build you anywhere else. Actually, Odessa itself could build that, couldn't they? No, they couldn't. For some reason. But I know that Adi was able to do it. Right. Yeah, Adi was able to do it. For some reason that's not showing up anymore. Oh, hey! Nice Timber Grove, Brazelwood Grove, and Cherry Orchard. and Maple Grove. Yep. Those are all going to lower our pollution. So it's a good thing to have there, but we're gonna still start with the Great Farmer. And you guys, where are you? What's the crime rate here? Minus 791. Have you finished the Panopticon prison? You did. Oi, that's good. Imperial Fortress, or it's still set there. Nope, it's not. Alright, so you finished that. That's good. I don't want to... Yeah, I don't think the crime rate is low enough for you to be dismissed. Alright, you guys continue. Again, focusing on most of the areas where they bring the benefit. Alright, well, that was a long update, but we've done a lot. Electricity is gonna come in 17 turns, which is gonna be fun. Watermill and windmill are gonna start being a little bit more enticing, because again, I've been ignoring these mostly because they don't really give that much. So yeah, now they're gonna give, well, 2 for free. This is also not great, but yeah, I guess we'll do those. Windmills, we do have a couple of those, and you give access to quite a lot of things. Power lines are going to be important, and we have access to the peat fire dynamo and wood fire dynamo, but we're not going to get that. We're gonna get, well, electrician's workshop we will. The copper wire factory we're going to get. Coal plant. Well, that would be great, but again, electric chair, I love that. Shell plant, natural gas power plant. That one is not, well, no, actually, that one is even worse than the coal power plant when it comes to the fire risk. So expecting the coal plant being worse. Yeah, but, well, oil power plant is the worst out of them, really? Well, alright. But yeah, we are gonna avoid building any of those because we're gonna go with the hydroelectric power with the Free Gorge Dam. But in the meantime, we're gonna benefit from everything else. Alright, anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the update. Turn 6911, year 1618 AD, and we are 1 turn away from electricity. So what's new? Well, actually a ton is new. As you can see, we are in the positive, and we have been for the better part, actually for all the turns between last update and this one, which is great. We have finally beaten the deficit that was bugging us for so long. This is mostly due to the part that we have invested heavily in our financial output, which has nearly doubled since the start of this financial crisis, which is amazing. But again, this comes mostly to the technologies that we have discovered since then, and the careful work with the buildings. And we have also, as you can see, broke the 25,000 mark in crop yield, and we are above 54,000 in manufactured goods, which means that I can now introduce to you Prasinopolis, which is our newest addition. A level 8 city, which has been founded just 2 years ago, and it is already on its way to building prosperous future. Now, I have resumed the construction of supply trains, though I do not see where they're actually being constructed right now, but at least 2 or 3 cities are working on them, and a steady influx of supply trains will come to Prasinopolis. I actually identified that this position would be a little bit better when it comes to the outreach, but the outreach, as you can see in our most heavily populated areas, isn't as important. Plus, if this volcano ever goes dormant, we can find another city here or here, and another one here, giving us a full usage of this area. Again, these cities will overlap a little bit, but again, it doesn't really matter because most of the production is actually coming from the cities themselves. So Brasinopolis is the next addition. I was actually playing with the thought, and I'm still playing with the thought, of settling further on this island that we are slowly taking over with Chateau Paron. We could settle another city over here, and we could settle a city over here or here, and then one more here once we completely culturally take it over, which is going to eventually happen. And, you know, a funny thing is, it's not really that far away from our capital. It's much closer than some of the other cities that we have already established. So I might just as well do it, because even after we have settled Brasinopolis, we haven't really seen a major bump in the maintenance of the city, because you can see it's only 400 gold per turn, which is, you know, nothing. If we actually build a couple of these buildings and then look at the most financially prosperous things, like well, I mean, we don't have that many of them available right now, but, you know, just the theater would give us something. You get more from jeweler, the mask carver, the crafts hut, you know, it really adds up. And there's also a lot of buildings that will lower the maintenance, like the district office, the police council, which I cannot see, but it's here somewhere. Have we already shadowed it? Nah, I don't think so. But, you know, it has probably some prerequisites. But you guys get the picture. We can actually pay for the 400 gold. It's funny because, you know, some of the much bigger cities like the Neopetra, which is way further down the line, have a much higher maintenance here. So, yeah. Settling in this area and even on the islands is not going to be that more expensive, because the huge city of Chateau Paron is on 750, so we could definitely at this point settle 2 more cities. But I don't want to overextend. We're going to give it a couple of dozen of turns to establish Brasinopolis, and then we're going to look at potential other cities. But yeah, I think trolling the enemies by putting a city here and here might be our next move, because I mean, Aachen is already 43% Byzantine, and if we put more cities, you know, that's the thing. I don't actually think that you can cultural revolt a capital. I don't think that's possible, but we can for sure take all of its territory away culturally. So that's something to look forward to. Second thing that I want to actually speak about is a discussion that we had on numerous videos about the civics. Because there's a discussion between me and Wolfau about the legislature and separation of power. Now, he made quite a lot of good comments about why separation of power would be better, but it's not. I'm going to explain why. The separation of power has a little bit of a higher maintenance. Now, actually, it has a little... No, it does have a higher maintenance than we do. And it takes away further the bonuses that we would get from trade routes. In effect, it would give us a little bit of a boost to production of gold in the cities themselves, a little bit of research and culture, but it deactivates police council, which actually lowers the maintenance of the cities. So if I would actually do it, and I tested it because I thought that maybe he has a point, it actually hurts us in actually everything, because we lose a big chunk of the food and production and gold from trade routes, even if we get these bonuses in all of the cities. So it's funny because I understand why he's suggesting that, and dude, I read your comments, I read your analysis, but it just doesn't work. I actually don't know if we could show it live. I never tried it, but let me see. These are the numbers that we have right now: 192,497 gold production, 54,397 manufactured goods, and 25,205 in crops. And we are in a golden age at this point. So if I switch to the separation of power, I don't think it's gonna flip me, but just in case we cannot turn it back, I just wanted to mention that I'm doing it just to show you guys the point. So if we do the separation of power and do the revolution, you will see that if we immediately dropped to a deficit, and manufactured goods and crop yield also dropped, and gold production. Now the science output went up by about 2,500, but because it deactivates all of the police councils and we lose the bonus to the trade routes, it basically just in effect has a huge issue. Now this might change as we go further, because the boost to the science and everything might be a little bit more valuable down the line, but at this point legislature just seems to be a better thing to go with. So I'm gonna end the turn. We're gonna go ahead, see if this doesn't change when we get electricity, and then we're gonna switch back and see what the effect is gonna be when we activate again. Again, the police councils are 5%, and we get the trade routes. And I mean, the trade routes are starting to yield us a pretty hefty bonus in all of our cities. So it might not seem like a big bonus, but it actually does a lot. So let me just end the turn. Let's hear it for electricity, and then we're gonna look at switching back.
We will make electricity so cheap that only the rich will burn candles.
Alright, so electricity is actually a big upgrade for us. First of all, we already mentioned that watermill and windmill now produce more industry and gold. Not a big thing for us though, because we have very little of those, but might change down the line. We can now build a command bunker, which I actually don't know what it is. Upgrade time 55 turns. Okay, so this is... that's an upgrade to command. No, it's a specialized building. Alright. Reveals copper wires and leads to a bunch of other technologies. But it gives us a lot of buildings that we might be able to build. Biomass power plant, bunker, coal power plant, factory for copper wires, electrician's workshop, electric chair, shale plant, natural gas power plant, oil power plant, power lines, which are basically a prerequisite for everything, and then we get coal-fired dynamo, peat-fired dynamo, and wood-fired dynamo, which come from the steampunk technology that we got. Alright, let's just check on you guys what we have here. So mathematics department and the Imperial Fortress, then build me the public health agency. Okay, so we get a bunker, and I think we'll be able to build a command bunker in our capital, as far as I understand it. Anything else that we could? The cement mill, hydrogen generator. You cannot actually build the power lines here, that's interesting. Why not? Alright, so we need at least one copper wire factory. Alright, gotcha, that's not an issue, we'll build it in Constantinople. Right, you guys can build up the crime fighting. Alright, you guys are building the fish. And cool. So now let's double check what happens when we change the legislature. Oh, the separation part back to legislature. So we have 188,434 gold, 53,928 in manufactured goods, and crop yield 24,939. And we have 118,000 science production. Then if we change the civic back to the legislature, yep, you see that we lost about, well, not even 2,000 actually in science, and we're back into positive 191,000, 54,393, and 25,173. So you see that effectively it hurts us everywhere except for the output. And the output is okay as long as we have more production. And so this is such a small difference actually, it's like 2% of science, but it is way bigger a difference for us when it comes to the gold. And I mean, I guess it really, goes to what you prefer. And at our current situation, I still prefer the legislature. Now, one thing that I need to mention, and that is a very valid point, is that the separation power actually gives us way more of a birth rate in the great people department, but it's a difference of 15%, and that's about it. It also gives us more unhappiness with war, and it doesn't give us any special buildings. Well, we actually can get the House of Parliament, which is National Wonder, which gives extra bonus to birth rate and reduces maintenance in nearby cities. So yeah, I mean, I guess really, I'm not saying that you guys are wrong, especially Wolfel, because he knows what he's talking about. It seems more useful. I mean, it's really tough. It's like, do you want to have a little bit more science or a little bit more production gold and food? And I'm sticking with that because I don't think that this boost to science is actually going to benefit us more than the ability to actually grow our civilization at this point and keeping it in positive numbers. So yeah, it's not bad, but I just wanted to demonstrate that I still think that what we have right now is better for us. Alright, we need to build this thing. So let's prioritize it in the capital. It should then allow us to build more things. However, we are going to avoid... How costly are you? 48,000. I mean, we want this one, and I want to avoid all of the other power plants because, to be quite honest, that's gonna be a pain if we actually build the power plants because of the huge issues that they will cause to us. I don't know if they give any significant... Oh my god, there's so many factories that we could get. Yeah, all of them give us actual fire risk though. But where are the power plants? Holy hell! Yeah, it gives 152 extra production, but that's because of the power. That's not because of it itself. It gives just 10, so let's go 20 from it alone. Because you will see the oil power plant, if I can find it, is giving us probably the same amount, though I don't see the... Huh. Well, yeah, but you can see, like, this one gives 152, and these ones actually give even more. But yeah, we're gonna have to get the power. But if this is... Wow, actually, at the moment we get access to power, well, is this really the only ones that we... This is the only thing that actually... Yeah. My god, we're gonna get a ton of potential factories. Oh hell, we're gonna be swimming in cash. That's crazy. I mean, each one of them takes a long time to build. But that is actually really nice. Like the music factory alone is gonna give us culture and everything, but the risk of fire, man, it's gonna go through the roof. Alright, well, I mean, that's it for this update. That's it for this update. I will work on setting up Prasinopolis. We're gonna actually establish the next city here, and maybe the two more over there. I'm really worried to settle anything in the direct vicinity of the volcano, because then, the whole thing about lava in your living room would be kind of a meme here. But other than that, I'm happy with the city, and I'll see you in 18 turns with Hydroelectricity. But really looking at some good technologies that are gonna come. This is gonna be a boom to us. I wonder if the game is gonna start hitting us with some massive downsides. 3,055,000, 2 million. Not really in the science department, so we really are just gonna be booming. I was kind of hoping, and maybe that we will be hit by that, but if the cities keep growing, when's the moment when crime and disease and squalor becomes an issue? I mean, Constantinople could effectively double its population and it still would be doing relatively okay-ish. We'll see, because that should become a real issue, the crime rate and disease and stuff like that. That would be what I would expect to be our next crisis, so we'll see. We'll see. Turn 6929, year 1623 AD, we are one turn away from hydroelectricity. So what's new? Well, a lot, but not much at all. It depends on how you look at it. Many of our cities have actually grown. I haven't spoken about that in quite some time, but when you look at the cities, you can see that Valdisa and Adi are now at 43, we got Misitras at 40, Mesembria, Philippopolis, Adrianople, Thessaloniki, Nissos. All of these cities are growing like crazy. Some of the first cities in the south also broke through to population 18, which is a population of 40,000, which is making me really happy. And when it comes to Kelea and Atianopolis, you can see they're at 17 and 16 respectively. We need to start sending some food trains to Ataniopolis because that one is really struggling with food, considering it's in the middle of the mountains, but the production is just insane there for the city of its size. When it comes to the new city that we have, we keep sending in more and more supply trains. We even sent in a couple of food trains. You can see the population is now 10, meaning there's 3,000 people living there. And we build most of the more important buildings. We got the mining camp, we got the arboretum, we got, aquarium is coming from the city itself, but we got ancient customs. Courthouse has been finished. We got Agros is also built automatically. Actually, we got quite a lot of buildings built automatically. Railroad station, Stone Tool Maker is the one that we built. We got a tannery, which gives way more than it's supposed to. We got a university built. We got the town clock built, and now we're gonna finish the guild hall. I'm trying to boost the production itself, so the city is actually doing more on its own. So guild hall, we're going to be paying for that one. It's a very expensive building, but it gives 14. Then we get accounting sticks, roper, tawistone, hematite gatherer, lumber camp, obsidian quarry. And we're going to continue with the usual. Steam crane is going to be the next one that we're going to build as we get the supply trains. Same with foundry. That's additional 23. Then we're going to build the mathematics department. You can see that education is really going up. Crime is going down. Disease is going down. So the city is establishing itself. Factory is going to be the next one that we're going to also focus on because we're going to soon have the power, which means additional 40% to construction. When it comes to the food situation, the family farm, grand estates, those are going to be built as well. Community garden 2. We actually had the community garden set, but considering food is not that big of a deal, at this point I actually moved it off the list and we're going to put it back at the end. I guess that's most of the actual news about the cities. We're building the power lines. Constantinople actually finished them and gained access to the electrician's workshop and the dynamos and the coal plant. Once we get the electrician's... no, actually not the electrician's workshop. Where is it? Can I see the power lines here? Yeah, so you can see that they actually give you access to quite a lot of buildings, but I think that we will need a couple more things in Constantinople before we can start building those, but mostly it's about power, really. Yeah, it's mostly about power. So we're going to see how these things stack. Again, it's an experiment for me. The hydroelectricity should really help us. I need to figure out where we're going to build it because it's actually kind of expensive, but I want to get it as fast as possible because it's going to be a huge boost to all of our production. When you look, we got 55,000 in manufactured goods right now, 25,404 in crop yields, and 19,000 196,234 in gold, and this is gonna skyrocket once we get the power to our city. So you know what, without further ado, let's actually end it, see for hydroelectricity, then we can look around a little bit and see where we are going to stack it. Ethiopia wants to exchange the world map, sure. Anything else you would like to exchange? Let's give you the naval cannons, you deserve it. Oh wait, no, it's a gift.
The Democrats are going to change the name of the Hoover Dam. That is the silliest thing I ever heard of in politics. Lord, if they feel that way about it, I don't see why they don't just reverse the 2 words.
Okay, so hydroelectricity is here. We can build a hydro plant, which interestingly actually lowers air pollution. I don't know why, but if that's the case, we might actually want to build it everywhere. And I mean, it alone gives us 25 production. So even though because this is interesting, the Three Gorges Dam actually provides power, but it does not build the hydro plant. So we might want to build a hydro plant everywhere anyway, just for the 25 production. How expensive it is? 8,000. Well, it's actually quite expensive, but you know, all things considered. And the building reward. It's kind of interesting because it's the exact same. Well, it's not. It's additional 25. Okay, we'll see how that works. So, Chandax, what are you going to build us? Okay, build the mosque. That's a good building. Build the Christian cathedral. That's a lot of culture. Anything else? We can build the power lines. I'm trying to build them everywhere. Citadel, Temple of Ra. And I don't see any good. Well, you actually got a lot of these fossils available, but they're so expensive, so let's avoid that for now. You know what, you just stick to that. Fencing Academy in Otranto. Alright, Otranto has a bunch of things that it could build. Customs office and you don't have a factory, really? You had a long list to go through if you still don't have the factory. And you can build an apple orchard. I'm actually prioritizing these buildings, all of the fields and orchards, because they lower pollution. So I started focusing on that a little bit more. Salt quarry is a good one. Patent office I kind of like. Anything else for science that you could do? Oh, you get with this Confucian Academy and public health and the engine. Alright, so now we've finished the mandatory things. So let's look at what we could do. So I think you need, well, I mean, of course you need the Three Gorges Dam on a river. Let me just verify that. Yeah, we don't even have access to it here, so it has to be built on a river. So let's look at this. How is it this doing? There's a. And okay, you cannot build it. Mazimbria. No. Ragusa? What's the issue here? Adi? Dutch Dyke. Oh. Well, that's actually pretty cool. Requires Dutch. Okay, but that's still not the answer to our question. So let me check the demands. Requires factory. Oh, it requires power lines. River access in a city of at least 3. Alright, well, I don't think we have power lines finished anywhere, but Adi would be probably a good bet. Yeah, you can build it. 47 turns. Alright, anyone else with a better... Ragusa, you're... Okay, you don't have a... Ah, okay, so you're just cut off. Gotcha. Yeah, there's no major river here. I mean, Constantinople, of course, would be amazing for that, but we have a different... Yeah, we have too many world wonders in there already. Well, shouldn't it be technically... Oh yes, you are able to build the dam. Or the hydro plant, as it's called. But I, on purpose, don't want to build them just to see a... Well, actually, no, we do want it. Take 6 turns. So we're gonna start putting those up for construction. What you guys? Nikea has 913. Adi has... Yeah, Adi's the one that I would prefer. Torelaum, yeah, that one is... What about Edessa, 817. Mesembria, 993. Yeah, Adi's looking pretty good. Mesitras, 948. Okay, to build the power lines, and then the dam, where is it? Oh, you can't build it because you don't have the power lines. Right? Yes, alright, so we need the power lines. But yeah, okay. It looks like Adi's gonna be the one. Because you guys don't really have a river access. Adrianople, but that one is... Well... No, this 641, that one is really weak when it comes to industrial production. Is it just... Yeah, Adi seems like the best one. Alright, so Adi is gonna be building... Adi is going to be building the Three Gorges Dam, which is gonna take 47 turns, alright, but... We can, in the meantime, build the hydro plant everywhere else. Because I really... The way it's phrased... It's not gonna give you... Yeah, that's a special one, so we can really build the... That's amazing, because we can build the dams themselves everywhere. That's 125, and this is another boost. Alright, cool. I guess that's pretty neat in the end. So, okay, in the next episode then, we are going to look at those quite important technologies, like refining, which is another thing that's going to get a huge bonus from power. Like all refinery, well, oh yeah, we could do that one. And shell plant, those we could build. We're going to look at the wildlife conservation, which is going to be a huge investment. We're going to get boost to a lot of our scientific buildings. But again, most are interested in the park ranger and all of these preservation buildings, like the coastal preserve. Again, you see the huge impact it has. The national park, that's actually amazing. I hope that we can build it somewhere good. And the environmental achievements are also great. And the last one that we're going to do is the food preservation, which gives us cannery, but because we have food, it's going to give us extra 10% food in every city we build it in. And That is amazing, because it might seem like, for example, in Constantinople, we are getting only 63, but we're actually getting 760. So it's going to provide 76 extra food. So it will more than double the food that we have here. And that's just Constantinople. And we will have a huge growth ahead of us. We can get, a ton of food very quickly, very soon. And that's just the beginning. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll see you in the next one. And till then, you guys take care.